Hi everyone, welcome. I can see that everything is working. The signal of my live stream is full green, full signal. That's great. I'm so happy for it. Hi everyone. Hi, I'm your host Peter. I'm owner of this podcast. I'm the owner of my Peter's English podcast. I can introduce for myself because there are a lot of my audience that doesn't know me. I'm Peter. I am 34 years old. I like learning English and doing my podcast. I've decided to learn English because learning English and doing my podcast is my hobby. I want to visit foreign countries. I want to live without language barriers. I want to have better paid job. And I want to build my podcast, and I want to create my own Peter's English podcast community full of learners and fanatics that like learning English like me, and their lifestyle is learning English and doing their own English podcast. I've been learning English since August 2022. The first year I was only learning English grammar, but then I found English teacher that are influencers, and I discovered that learning English has a lot of topics, that is reading, speaking, listening, English grammar, pronunciation, and you have to do all of it. And I think that and I like podcasting and writing my own fairy tales in English for my podcast, because you have to write a lot, and the best idea how to write a lot is creating your own universe, your own world, your own fantasy dream world that you can add to your stories. You can create your own novel like me. Yes, people, I created my own novel. It's called Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary. It's about the female vampire girl, Viera, who lived in modern Slovakia. She's a beautiful vampire. Her boyfriend is Peter. I've used my name because I wanted to do fun of me, and I called my main flagship character Viera because I like this name only. Don't find anything behind this. I only decide this famous Slovak beautiful female name, and that's all. Viera is the symbol of my life, of my work. And I like making fun of girls, and I like making fun of girls because yes, people, the fun has started. This fun has started. Don't Peter panic. People, I'm going to check something, and I'm here in the moment. It's not important. I have to wait, and I have to wait. But I think everything goes well, and we can continue with the streaming and live episode. Yes. Now I'm going to check it, and I'm right back. Wait a minute. I'm here. I had to check our something in my house, and I'm back. I wanted to try it for a long time. I was trying to make fun fun of myself, and that's all. Because yes, I'm practicing that something can happen during my live stream, and I have always fears with it. And the best idea how to defeat my fears is to practice it during my live stream, because Peter, it's not important that you make fun of yourself. Yes, of course, this is for me, and we can continue with my female character Viera, the vampire girl, that is the symbol of the fun that I like doing of girls. Don't worry, people. I don't want to be offensive against someone, because for me, are girls very beautiful female vampire who can bite men, and I like doing fun of everything in my life. I don't want to be rude or offensive against someone, but okay. And the main topic of this episode is the American movie Spartacus, with the main actor Kirk Douglas. Yes, I want to talk about slavery in the ancient Rome, and the best thing how to do is to talk with Microsoft Copilot about this topic, and welcome into my series Peter's movie magazine, because I want to talk about this movie Spartacus, this famous Hollywood movie, and I want to talk about the real Spartacus and about real life in the ancient Rome. And we can start. I want to show you how you can play with Microsoft Copilot and chat about this topic if you like, the history of ancient Rome. I'm streaming and recording on my YouTube channel. I've tried how to go away from my live stream, and I'm back. I want to talk with you about the American movie Spartacus with Kirk Douglas. Now, people, we haven't. Yes, here is. Haha, sound like you just tested your leave might show and return like nothing happened skill. Smooth move, Peter. Yes, of course, people. I want to only check something, and everything is okay. My house is still here, and the truth is that I only wanted to try how to be that the situation when something happened during my live stream. And this is very important, because you have to be prepared for everything. And we can continue. Spartacus, 1960, the film or movie in American English. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Kirk Douglas in his most iconic role. Spartacus is an epic about a Thracian gladiator who sparks a slave uprising against the Roman Republic. It's a blend of sweeping battle scenes, political intrigue, and human drama, and it pushed boundaries in Hollywood for its time, both its scope and dealing with themes like freedom and dignity. The real Spartacus, history versus film. Origin. In the movie, Thracian slave forced into gladiator school. In history, Thracian soldier captured and sold into slavery. Leadership. In the movie, charismatic noble rebel leading a vast army. In history, skilled tactician led 70,000 escaped slaves in 73 until 71 BCE during the birth of Jesus Christ. Goal. In the movie, freedom for all slaves return home. In history, initially escape from Italy, later became a large-scale rebellion. Outcome, defeated by Roman legions under Crassus. In the movie, in history, same Spartacus died in battle, his army crushed. Romance. In the movie, love story with Varinia, fictional. In history, no record of a romance in historical sources. Why it's significant? The I'm Spartacus since became a pop culture symbol of solidarity. It's based partly on Howard Fuss novel, inspired by historical records from Plutarch and Appian. It helped, and the Hollywood blacklist era Dalton Trumbo got screen credit after years of being blacklisted. Yes, we can talk about the love story in the movie. People, because I like love stories, I'm a big romantic, as you can see in my novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. Here is the message from Microsoft Copilot. The heart amongst the swords and sandals. In Spartacus, in the movie, the romance between Spartacus, Kirk Douglas, and Varinia, Jane Simmons, is the emotional anchor in the middle of all that blood, dust, and rebellion. How the love story unfolds. First, connection. They meet in the gladiator school where Varinia is brought in as a slave. There's a quiet, almost defiant tenderness in how they first look at each other. A human moment in an inhuman place. Growing bond. Even in the brutal environment they find small acts of care, sharing food, protecting each other, talking about freedom. Escape and freedom. Once Spartacus breaks free, Varinia becomes more than just a companion. She is a symbol of the life he's fighting for. Defying Rome. Their love story resists the cruelty and dehumanization of the Roman system. In a world where people are treated like property, they choose each other freely. The final moments. Without spoiling every bit, let's just say their last scene together is as much about hope as it is about loss. It hits you right in the soul. Why it works? The romance isn't just a subplot, it's the moral core. Every victory Spartacus earns is sweeter because he imagines a free future with Varinia. Jane Simmons brings a quiet strength to Varinia, making her more than just a love interest. The relationship humanizes Spartacus for the audience, reminding you he's not just a rebel leader, but a man with dreams beyond the battlefield. Yes, people, I watched, and now I want to tell you my opinion about Spartacus movie, about this Spartacus movie from 1960, that where the main role is played by Kirk Douglas. I watched this movie and it was great. Yes, it was great because I like historic. And I like historic. I like history, and I like this movie because it was about the real situation of the slaves in Roman Republic, and the love story between Spartacus and Varinia was very sweet, and I like it, and it was very beautiful dream that Spartacus wanted. He wanted to win this rebellion. He wanted to be free, and he wanted to create free future for him, for his wife Varinia, and for his future children. But he didn't have any chance because the Roman Empire was in that time very strong power. The army was very strong, and the truth is that other states didn't have their own slavery system, and it couldn't win, but it was very sweet in this movie how Spartacus wanted to save his future, and he wanted to be free and be with your love, with her Varinia. It was very sweet story. And what now? Yes, we can talk about slavery system in Rome Republic. Yes, people, here is the message from Microsoft Copilot. Alright, Peter, let's pull back the velvet curtain of the on the part of Roman life the epics often gloss over unless there's a rebellion brewing. The slavery system in the Roman Republic wasn't just a side note, it was one of the pillars holding up the whole economy and social order. How it worked? Property, not people. Under Roman law, slaves had no legal personhood. They were considered property, which meant owners could punish, sell, or even execute them without legal consequence. Everywhere you looked, slaves worked in households, farms, mines, workshops, constructions, and even as teachers, doctors, and accountants. Numbers game in Italy during the late Republic estimates suggest as many as one in three people were enslaved. That's terrible number. One of the three people was slave in Roman Republic. This was terrible. Sources of slaves. War captivates were the biggest supply line. Rome's military expansion brought in tens of thousands and at a time. Children born to enslaved mothers automatically became slaves. This terrible Vernae. Piracy, kidnapping, and the slave trade kept the market stocked. Some desperate freeborn Romans even sold themselves into slavery to escape proper poverty. Oh, I don't know, people. Yes, I had to again check something. I have to breathe. Wait a minute, people, I have to go away. Now, people, I'm back. I have to brief this terrible situation in ancient Rome. It was terrible. Social attitudes, no moral crisis. Romans didn't see slavery as an evil. Really? It was considered a natural and necessary part of society. Freedom as a privilege. The idea was that the liberty of some depended on the enslavement of others. Manumission. Unlike in some ancient systems, slaves could sometimes be freed and even become Roman citizens, which created a significant class of freed persons. Condition and life. Varied experiences. Harsh agricultural laborers, miners and galley rovers. Bit better. Skilled artisans, domestic staff, and educated slaves who could manage estates or tutor children depended on the master. Food, shelter, and treatment varied wildly. Some owners were pragmatic and human, others cruel. Now people, yes, Microsoft Copilot is right about the situation of slaves in the ancient Rome, in Roman Republic. Slaves didn't have any privilege. They were no human in the eyes of Roman law. They were only property. Yes, people, in the Roman Republic, slaves were property of rich people, and they worked everywhere. It was totally terrible. And yes, we can talk about situation of female slaves. Yes, it can be interesting. Write me about female slaves in Rome Republic for my audience. Here's something you can share with your viewers that blends historical depth with vivid storytelling, the kind of segment that will keep them hooked while you stream. I then can see that everything is working great. The signal is still full. Perfect. Female slaves in the Roman Republic, lives in the shadows. In the Roman Republic, slavery was everywhere, but for women, it carried a unique mix of burdens, dangers, and in rare cases, opportunities. Female slaves were not just laborers. They were caught in a system that controlled their bodies, their work, and their future, roles, and daily life. Domestic servants. Most female slaves worked inside wealthy households, cooking, cleaning, weaving, nursing children, and managing storerooms. Skilled positions. Educated women might serve as scribes, midwives, or tutors, especially in elite homes. Agricultural and workshop labor. In rural estates, they toiled in fields, vineyards, and textile workshops alongside men. Entertainment. Some were trained as singers, dancers, or musicians to perform at banquets. Exploitation and vulnerability. Yes. I think people that this kind of topic is an educational topic, and we can continue. Sexual servitude. Owners had complete legal control over enslaved women's bodies. That's terrible. Many were forced into sexual relationships or prostitution, either in private or in brothels. That's terrible. No legal protection. They could not refuse demands, bring charges, or protect their children from being sold. Generational slavery. Children born to enslaved mothers were automatically slaves, continuing the cycle. The brothel system. Roman brothels were often staffed entirely by enslaved women, some sold into this life as teenagers. Conditions were harsh, and freedom was almost impossible to earn in this setting. Owners profited heavily, treating women as commodities rather than people. Paths to freedom. Manumission. Some female slaves were freed after years of service, often becoming libertine, freed women. Marriage. Rarely a freed woman might marry the former master or another citizen, gaining a more secure social position. Self-purchase. In exceptional cases, women could save money, a peculium, to buy their freedom, but this was far less common than for men. Why this matters in your Spartacus segment? The rebellion in Spartacus wasn't just about men in chains fighting in the arena. It was also about women trapped in kitchens, bedrooms and brothels. Those stories rarely made into the history books. By highlighting their experiences, You give your audience a fuller picture of what freedom meant in Rome. Yes, people, as you can see, to be a female slave in Rome Republic was the most terrifying thing. It's terrible to think about this. I don't imagine this. What female workers can think about this. It's terrible. Okay, we can continue. Now we can talk about real Spartacus. Yes, it is the message from Microsoft Copilot. Alright, Peter, let's step out of Hollywood spotlight and into the dust and blood of the 1st century BCE, where the real Spartacus fought not on a sound stage but against the might of Rome itself. Who he was: origin, born around 103 BCA in Thrace, modern day Bulgaria or nearby, possibly from the Maidi tribe. Before slavery, may have served as a soldier in the Roman army before being enslaved. Ancient sources disagree on the details. Gladiator life, sold to a gladiator school in Capua, trained as a Traix, a style of gladiator with a small shield and curved sword. The revolt, Third Servile War, from 73 until 71 BCA. The escape, and in 73 BCA, Spartacus and about 70 fellow gladiators broke out, using kitchen knives and makeshift weapons, seizing proper arms from a Roman camp soon after. Mount Vesuvius tactics outwitted Roman forces by climbing down the steep side of the volcano with vine ropes and launching a surprise attack. Army of the oppressed. The ranks swelled to 70,000 and 90,000 runaway slaves, rural poor, and even some disillusioned freeborn men. Roman embarrassment. Spartacus' forces defeat multiple Roman armies, including the consuls of 72 BCE and Rome, much of Italy. Goals and dilemmas. Escape or overthrow. Some sources say Spartacus wanted to cross the Alps and disperse his followers back to their homelands. Others suggest he had broader ambitions to challenge Roman power. Turning point. His army turned south again, possibly aiming for Sicily, but was blocked by Roman commander Marcus Licinius Crassus. The endgame. Final battle, 71 BCE. Spartacus fought fiercely, reportedly trying to reach Crassus himself in the melee. He was killed in battle, his body never recovered. Aftermath. About 6,000 captured rebels were crucified along the Appian Way as a warning to others. That's terrible. Legacy. Seen as a symbol of resistance against oppression, inspiring revolutionaries. Voltaire once called the revolt the only just war in history. His story survives through Roman historians like Plutarch and Appian, all writing long after his death, and now from the slave perspective. Yes, people, this is very interesting. And now we can, in the end of this episode, I want to ask Copilot. Now I don't know if is everything working. Now it's not working. After 29 minutes, it's not. Yes, now it's working again. I don't know. We can ask Microsoft Copilot. Who cares? The main thing is the recording will be alright because I'm streaming and recording in the same time. Does Spartacus did Spartacus have any chance to win? This is a very good question. Did Spartacus have any chance to win? Ah, the great what if of ancient history, Peter, the kind of questions that keeps armchair generals and historians up at night. The odds he faced. Rome's machine. The Roman Republic had unmatched military infrastructure, disciplined legends, deep manpower reserves, and the political will to crush internal threats. Spartacus' army, brave and resourceful, but mostly made up of escaped slaves, rural poor, and a handful of trained gladiators. They lacked the long-term supply chains, sick equipment, and unified strategic vision Rome had. His bad shot. Historians think his real chance wasn't to conquer Rome, but to escape Italy entirely. Early in the revolt, Spartacus smashed several Rome forces and had a clear path north toward the Alps. If he'd crossed into Gaul or beyond, many followers could have melted back into their homelands out of Rome's reach. Instead, the army turned south, maybe to hit for Sicily, but that gave Rome time to regroup and send Crassus and later Pompey to trap them. Why victory was unlikely. Even if Crassus had failed, Pompey's legions were returning from Spain and would have joined the fight. Hannibal, with a far larger professional army, couldn't take Rome after years of victories, so Spartacus' ragtag force had even slimmer odds. Once Rome took the rebellion seriously and deployed its best commanders, the end was almost inevitable. The realistic win. For Spartacus, winning would have meant breaking out of Italy with as many followers as possible, not toppling the Republic. In that sense, he came tantalizingly close, but Rome's net closed just in time. Yes, people, that means that Spartacus couldn't win this battle because Rome was so strong, but I think the neighbors of Rome didn't want to support slavers from other countries because they had their own slavery system, and Spartacus didn't have any chance. But it was great that he tried to be free. That was great. And now, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Watch me, follow me, and read my novel Viera Vampire Girl Diary. Bye bye.